No.
What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. So there are so many myths in this world, especially in the technology world, and the smartphone area there are so many myths. So here are my 5 myths that people still believe it's true. Number 1. Closing the background will speed up your phone and save the battery life. We all have heard about this thing, but this will actually closing the all apps from the background will save your battery life and speed up your RAM? The quick answer is no. Absolutely no. There is actually a difference, like when you're opening an app and using it, the app that time only it will consume the battery life or little RAM. First thing, there is so many apps that will consume your battery life and RAM depends upon the app, which is even though you're closing the app also from the background, it will consume the battery life and even some RAM. Did you know where this myth actually came from? This myth actually came from the computers. We know that when we actually open an app in the computer and keep it in the background, it will consume our RAM. If you are using a laptop, it will consume our battery life. Number 2. There is a myth that smartphone emit a harmful radiation. Okay. The smartphone actually emit radiation, but it is not that harmful. But huge research has been done on this, and then the studies are saying that the radiation is not a problem. Like there is the phones are actually using an electromagnetic waves which are not that much harmful, but they are using, and it is safer than a radio. Number 3. More megapixels means a better camera. And another myth that people are hearing from the early days and still believes on. So there is a myth that people are thinking that more megapixels means it is a better camera, it will take better pictures. Example, Samsung releasing 200 megapixels, people means that we will get a better, more photos in the phone. Believe me, that is not that much true. More megapixel means that better area of taking a photo. Better area means a big picture. When we are taking a photo with a more megapixel, we get a big picture. Nowadays, people are obsessed with megapixels. Whenever we are just going to buy a smartphone and we are into cameras, so we will ask how much, like, what is a megapixel of this? If people are usually buying the Samsung S23 Ultra because of the 200 megapixel. Don't mind me wrong. Like when we are checking about the iPhone 12 Pro Max, okay, it is 12 megapixel and it is taking better quality photos than the previous smartphones, and like even in the area we were checking that in 2020 one of the best camera was this iPhone 12 Pro Max, and that was having just 12 megapixel, and Apple was just having entire lineup with 12 megapixel and they were the king in taking photos. Till now when we're checking, the iPhone 14 Pro Max is having 48 megapixel and we are all into these photos. Better photos, like better camera, means that better sensor, better processor, better even software of the camera. This all megapixel is not a main thing. These 3 are also a main thing. If all together is the best, that is the best camera. But till now there is no best camera smartphone till now, better than, not even better than a DSLR. When we are checking, this Samsung S23 Ultra is not that much better than the Xiaomi's latest. Xiaomi's latest is having a Leica's mist sensor, and they are having a better quality photos, not than the Samsung but equal. So comparing to the both, more megapixel doesn't mean that it's a better picture. Myth number 4. 4G is having more data than 3G. On one hand, when we're checking, the 4G is actually having better speed in downloading files and even downloading anything. We all know that when we are using the 3G or 4G or 5G, it doesn't take more data. All these three has uses the same consume the same data. Okay, for people who doesn't understand of like the data things and all, when we are using a phone and we don't have a Wi-Fi connection, we actually go for mobile data. So people are thinking that mobile data, when we're owning, if you're using 3G, it will use less data and than the 4G. Means that when we are using 3G, we are saving our money than the 4G. It is not true. Basically, it means that the thing is that when we are using 4G, we get more speed. That's it. We are just getting more speed, which means this circle over here doesn't come quite often. Smartphone myth 5. Charging your phone overnight will consume or like will damage your battery. In older phones, when you're charging above like 100%, and it will damage your battery life because the battery inside the smartphone is getting heated and is causing damage to that. But the modern smartphones can know how to handle these batteries and when to stop the charging when it is no longer needed. The problem that is having when you are charging overnight is the heating issue. So our smartphones have a small issue is that when we are charging overnight, it is like after 100%, even though current is cut, the battery will have some heat, small heat dissipated, and it is not good for battery and the smartphone health. So what we have to do is that just simple, if you have a case on it, just remove if you're charging overnight and then put it on a hard surface so the heat will be dissipated and not that much problem will be there for a smartphone. That is it. These are the 5 myths that we still believe. Actually, I believed it long ago and now I am okay with it. For more myth, subscribe to my channel and like this video if you are still believed in this and just found out that yeah, I was wrong and just I have to like change my mindset. By saying that, my name is Saharsh, you call me SS, and I'll catch you in the next video.